Back on the Sportsmax Zone, heading into the fast lane now on the program. Jamaican history maker Sara Misir is continuing to make rapid strides in the Formula Woman Championship. Sara is the first woman from the Caribbean to qualify for the championship. Formula Woman, which began in the United Kingdom in 2004, is a female-only racing series, of course. It was created out of the need to increase the level of female participation in top-class motorsport. The 24-year-old is in the heat of competition in the GT event, set to compete in June in the Snetterton 500. And Sara joins us now in studio. She was here in late January. I think she was sitting where I am sitting now. She's sitting in George's seat at the moment. Before we program Sara, as we welcome you to the show on what you have coming up next, just in a nutshell, tell us about what happened between January and where we are now, because when you spoke to us in late January, you were getting ready for some important events.
I remember, and the time frame and what has happened has been completely insane. I've undergone so many assessments just in the competition itself. So I went through about 1 week of assessments that were from the UK all the way into Sweden, going from the top 75 to the top 15 to the top 11 to the top 4. So now I'm racing alongside DTO race team with McLaren, and we're racing now in June 11th and 12th, and we've gone through so much training, and I never knew how in-depth racing for training could be, from cognitive training, vision training, sports psychology, fitness almost every day, and it's been really intense, and I've learned so much, and I felt like I've come back to Jamaica a completely different driver.
Well, we would expect that, given what you've gone through, because where you are now to where you were, let's say, a year ago, you're in a completely different space, aren't you? Completely,
100%. It's been a roller coaster, but a good one.
Yeah, and speaking about training and, you know, all the different assessments that you would have gone through, as you get ready for competition in June, anything personally that you feel you would like to work on?
Definitely just seat time and getting more confidence in the McLaren. It's a 570S GT4 car. You know, it's very different from what I drive here in Jamaica. The technology, the driving style is completely different. So just more seat time, just getting more comfortable in the car, getting more comfortable with the team. The whole training, we have simulator training. We have everything lined up for when I go back next week, Wednesday on the 25th. And I just head straight into training.
What I've noticed is every time you get a break from competition, you come back to Jamaica.
I do.
Which is always good, because it's for you to refuel, right? How has the response been from the Jamaican public, from corporate Jamaica, and of course the government?
It has been overwhelmingly in a good way, because when I was at Dover, I was supposed to be racing in April, and unfortunately I blew my engine the day before, so I couldn't race, but I was still there, and I had so many people come up to me, congratulate me, tell me how they're supporting me and they're behind me, and it's just been fueling my desire to get it even more.
You've spoken of some of the simulation training that you've been doing. Some of it has been in the USA. How much of it, if any, has been in the UK, which is where your next assignment is?
90% of it has been in the UK now. So I've been based since late February. I've been based in the UK, from the assessments to just training. Everything's over there. Our base is at Silverstone, so we have our garage is at Silverstone, and the place that we have the simulator called iZone is there as well. So that's where I'm mostly located.
And your June 11 assignment at Snetterton, which is a big racing circuit in the UK, well established. How much do you know about that circuit?
Not as much as I would like to, but we're starting training now. On the 27th is our first day in the simulator. We've been doing mostly Brands Hatch and Donington, so now we're just getting into Snetterton, and we have some onboards we've been studying so far.
You spoke about just now when you blew your engine and you couldn't compete. How were you able to bounce back from that? Because, I mean, you would have done all the work, you would have prepared, and it's just execution time.
I'm telling you, when it was the day before and I was out there and I had my fastest times, and then I felt and the compression just left and the car shut off, it was depressing. But, you know, I still had to come back, and I wanted to support the race day, and I had other racing friends that was there, and I went there to support, and of course the day itself. So it was hard to do, but I was still happy that I was able to be back.
Yeah, and I'm just going to move, off the competition and just ask you one woman question, because I wouldn't let you leave without that. I feel like, what has really drawn me to you is the fact that you already know what you want to do. You're already focused, you're set. And when you speak, you don't really speak like a young person. You speak as if, you're very knowledgeable, right? How are you able to keep that focus? How do you know what you want to do?
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm just going day by day and I'm just trying my best at everything. But the way I stay focused is that I have this want to be the best version of myself. So every moment that passes, I'm always trying my best and I'm always on my 100%. That's pretty much how I do it.
In an interview that I read that you did, I think it's with the Jamaica Observer, you said that you know the type of woman that you want to be seen as. Who's that woman?
I've always wanted to be seen as someone who composes herself well, is intelligent, does everything I do it properly and I do it well, because I always found that if you're going to do something, you might as well do it properly. So I just want to be able to set a good example for women and Jamaican women, and to show that it doesn't matter if it seems impossible, it doesn't, as long as you have the proper work ethic.
Yeah.
Sarah, you appear to be a born competitor. I know your dad was involved in motorsport. But you spoke of being in school and swimming and volleyball, and you were in equestrian before. How much would those prior experiences in competitive sport help to propel you to where you are now? It's a different kind of sport, but the competitive mind had to start somewhere.
Definitely. I find that every single sport, even from something as like dancing to equestrian to football, everything from team sports to solo sports, you grab the discipline, the work ethic, where you have to work with a team, you have to work on yourself, and you have to build together, and pulling all the types of focuses with the different types of distractions, the different types of disciplines, the different types of fitnesses that you need for each. It's been only an advantage to have such a diversity in my past for sports.
And Lance, she's also doing her master's in
architecture.
How are you balancing all of that?
That's stunning, actually.
Well, honestly, right now, when I was here last, I was making a decision to kind of take that leap of faith with the competition and racing, to take a year off from school. Because like I said earlier, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it properly. And I was stretching myself way too thin. I didn't want my grades to suffer. Yeah. I didn't want different aspects of life to be thin. So I took a year off. I went for it, 110% in the competition. I won it. And now, waiting for January next year, I will be completing my last year while maintaining a balance with racing.
Yeah, you know what? I want to ask you something else as well, because although motor racing has been relatively popular in the Caribbean isn't known globally as a force in motorsport. We see Fraser McConnell, the Jamaican, doing well in rally. There's a Barbadian teenager, Zane Maloney,
yes,
who is in the Formula 3 in Europe, doing extremely well. And now Sarah arrives on the scene as well to add some more punch to that. Do you reckon that in the past year, the region is now earning more respect in motorsport than it had maybe 3-4 years ago?
100%. I find that a lot of foreigners that come to Jamaica for Dover, they're blown away. Because I promise you, when I go to races like at Donington, Brands Hatch, these huge GT World Challenge races, it's nothing like at Dover. The vibe of the day, the community engagement, there's music, there's food. Over there, everything is silent. Yeah. Everyone's quiet to themselves. Over here, it's more like a festival with racing, and it's supporting the locals. Yeah. Yeah. You don't get like that in the UK. Everyone's jealous of that when they come to Jamaica.
All right, we're going to leave it there, Sarah. We wish you the best in your June assignment at the Snetterton in Norfolk, England, and we'll be monitoring your performances very closely.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
When she wins, she can come back on again.
Definitely.
Because as usual, she comes back to Jamaica, doesn't she?
Yeah, I need the refueling.
Good word, good word. Thanks, Sarah. Great to have you on. We are having another time, I think, for another La Liga question before we close this segment. This is question 5. Real Sociedad has won how many La Liga titles? Remember, answers must be submitted to the Zone WhatsApp number 876-564-7661. Real Sociedad, how many La Liga titles have they had? Get that answer in, and we'll be back with more on the Zone after this.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and to click the notification bell to stay informed.